A very good morning to all the students of 9th standard Cbse. Friends, yesterday we started with the topic the French Revolution history. And yesterday I taught you the first part. I gave you the summary of the first part of this lesson. I hope that you all must have understood whatever had been taught to you yesterday about the French Revolution. The definition that I gave you about revolution, that it is a fundamental and long lasting change which is brought about intentionally. We had discussed yesterday that when people are fed up, people think that they should overthrow the rule, they should overthrow the government. They revolt against that democratic government or any form of government, and that is called as a revolution. Okay, which is brought about intentionally. There is a strong intention behind that of bringing the revolution. So yesterday we came to know what injustice was going on in France. Okay, who was the king? The name of the king was Louis XVI. He was hardly 20 years old and he got married to the Austrian princess Marie Antoinette. Okay, and when he became the king, the French treasury was almost empty. So he decided to fill up the treasury by increasing taxes. The French society was divided into three states. Okay, I am just revising whatever I taught you yesterday, and then we'll start with today's topic, summary part 2, and we'll conclude this lesson. Okay, so the French society was divided into three states: first estate, second estate, and third estate. First estate consisted of clergy, second estate consisted of nobility, and the third estate consisted of common people, ordinary people. Okay, that I wrote the names of the people yesterday, those who come in third estate. Okay, so as injustice was going on in France, people were fed up, they wanted to overthrow this rule. In short, they wanted to kill their king. Okay, the especially the people of the third estate, they were not happy and satisfied because whatever the rule was going on in their nation, this was against them. Okay, all the burden of paying the taxes fell on the third estate. They used to pay direct taxes to the government, which was called as tally. Yesterday I told you. So the third estate, members of the third estate, they wanted that whatever privileges were being enjoyed by the first and second estate, there should be an end to those privileges. Okay, so what happened in part 2? We'll start. Look at the first point. The ideas of great philosophers like John Locke, Rousseau, and Montesquieu influenced the French people. Now, great thinkers, you can say experienced people, okay, philosophers. These people came forward, whatever knowledge, talent they were having with their intelligence and intellect, they made the people aware that how to revolt against such a type of government or such a type of king, okay, such a type of rule. So who were those great philosophers? John Locke, Rousseau, and Montesquieu. These were the three great philosophers who contributed greatly in French Revolution. These three great philosophers made the people aware about the problems which were going on, and they also made the people aware how to fight for their rights. Okay. Then on 20th June, the third estate declared themselves as a national assembly. Now, after these great philosophers, John Locke, Rousseau, and Montesquieu, they made the people aware. They taught the people how to revolt. The very first step was taken by the people of third estate. They declared themselves as National Assembly. On which date? 20th June. Okay. Then let us look at the next point. The people revolted due to price rise and attacked Bastille on 14 July 1789. Now, what happened? Prices were being increased in France. Prices of goods and commodities were being increased in France on a large scale. People wanted to revolt. So people revolted due to price rise and they directly attacked Bastille. Now what do you mean by Bastille? It was a symbol of absolute monarchy. Bastille was a fort. Okay, Bastille was a fort. It was a symbol of absolute monarchy. People went there and they attacked Bastille. Why? Because of rise in prices of goods and services. People were unhappy, dissatisfied. Commodities and goods, their prices were increasing day by day. People decided, a member of the third estate, people of the third estate decided that they would go to Bastille and they will attack Bastille. On which date? 14 July 1789, and they attacked Bastille on that same date. Okay. Then let us look at the next point. In August 1792, the Jacobins, who were less prosperous section of society, took over the government and declared France as a republic by executing the King Louis XVI on 21st January 1793. Now, as I told you, that the members of the third estate were unhappy and dissatisfied because of the taxes that they were paying. Again, prices of goods and services were also increased. Now there was a club. The club was named as Jacobins Club. Their leader was Maximilian Robespierre. Okay, what was the name of the club? Jacobins. This is a club. Means these people were shopkeepers, watchmakers. Okay, in short, they used to do some business. Shopkeepers, watchmakers. Jacobins Club. Who was their leader? Maximilian Robespierre was their leader. And what did he do? This leader, Maximilian Robespierre, along with his people, he killed Louis XVI on 21st January 1793. Louis XVI was killed on 21st January 1793. Finally, this King Louis XVI was being executed by the people. Okay, especially Maximilian Robespierre. The leader of the Jacobins was Maximilian Robespierre. See, injustice goes on, goes on, goes on, and finally, when the people are fed up, they revolt against that. Same thing happened in France. Injustice was going on. Then Jacobins was a club. Their leader was Maximilian Robespierre. These people were watchmakers, short businessmen. You can say shopkeepers also. So what did they do? They decided to execute the king. And finally, the king was executed on 21st January 1793 by Maximilian Robespierre and his people. Now, after this, what happened? A reign of terror started in France. Means everyone was afraid. The surrounding, the atmosphere was completely frightened. सब लोग डर गए थे कि ये क्या हो गया अचानक से, इसको किल कर दिया, मार दिया किसको? लुई 16 किंग को. Reign of terror followed. A reign of terror followed from September 1793 to July 1794. Okay, what happened? A reign of terror followed from September 1793 to July 1794, during which large-scale executions took place. Now, from September 1793 to July 1974 or 1794, लार्ज स्केल एग्जीक्यूशंस टुक प्लेस. अगर कोई अन्याय करता था, करप्शन करता था, उसको जगह पे खत्म कर देते थे, एग्जीक्यूट कर देते थे. ओके, दैट वाज कॉल्ड एज एग्जीक्यूशन. This year was a reign of terror, was marked as reign of terror. Everyone was afraid, frightened. Later, Robespierre was convicted by the court to be guillotined in July 1794. Then what happened? The court finally convicted that this Maximilian Robespierre is creating a lot of terror, creating a lot of uh, problems for the people, for ordinary people. Okay, people are not happy, they are living in a frightened state of mind. The court gave the orders that Maximilian Robespierre should be guillotined. Now, what do you mean by guillotined? To kill in a machine. The head is actually put under a machine and then it is cut off. To cut off the head means to be guillotined. Okay. The court gave the order to guillotine Maximilian Robespierre. Finally, Maximilian Robespierre was being guillotined by the court. Then, after Maximilian Robespierre, Napoleon Bonaparte became the emperor in 1804 and introduced many new laws. After Maximilian Robespierre, the power went into the hands of Napoleon Bonaparte. You must have heard the name of Napoleon Bonaparte. Okay. So he became the emperor in 1804 and he introduced many new laws in France. Okay. He tried to bring France to a height of glory. Are you understanding? Maximilian Robespierre was being guillotined. After that, Napoleon Bonaparte became the emperor. in 1804, and he decided to improve the conditions of France. He decided to improve the conditions of France and to bring it to a height of glory. Then Napoleon's reforms impacted a large number of European nations, leading to abolition of feudal system. Now, as Napoleon Bonaparte became the emperor of France, whatever reforms he started making at that time, these reforms were being impacted on the different European nations. Means you can say that Napoleon Bonaparte was creating strong influence on the European nations. And as a result, feudal system was being abolished from the European nations slowly and steadily by looking at Napoleon Bonaparte. And the last point, the ideas of liberty and democratic rights were the most important legacy of the French Revolution. And after that, finally, liberty, equality, freedom, all these things were continued in France after the revolution, which were missing during the rule of Louis XVI, who was the king of France. When finally Louis XVI was killed, Maximilian Robespierre was killed, Napoleon Bonaparte, what did he do? He made France stand on its own legs. Okay, he actually worked hard for uplifting France to a height of glory. Whatever reforms he made, other European nations were actually taking examples from him, learning from him how to lead a nation, how to be a good leader. Finally, liberty, democracy, you can say freedom, equality, all these things prevailed in France during the rule of Napoleon Bonaparte. So such was a revolution which took place, and finally all the problem was solved from France, and the revolution proved to be a successful revolution. Okay, so my dear friends, I hope that you must have understood the second part, summary second part. Yesterday I had uploaded first part of summary, today I will upload second part of this summary. So with this we end this lesson, French Revolution. Go through this video, and after going through this video, please go through your textbook also. Okay, and we'll meet very soon. Thank you very much.